Real Talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it.
Hello, and good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining us again on another week, another edition, and going into another month, right? We're ending this month up in October, and we had this for November. Someone told me the other day it's like 10 Sundays till Christmas. I don't know who's counting, but I'm not. It's 10 Sundays to Christmas, but we want to thank you for joining in. Those who are joining in with us live, we appreciate you guys checking in today. Please put in the comments where you're tuning in from because we love to hear from you. It's a global show, so we want to know where you're tuning in from. Also, drop in your questions, your comments, and network with each other in the comment section as well because we know that's how we do, right? For those who tuning in on the hashtag replay, don't worry about it. We got you covered as well. Go in, put where you're tuning in from. Let us know what your questions are, what your comments are. We do go back, we do engage, we do answer questions, and we do get it real and popping. But of course, you guys know I don't do it by myself, right? I'm only one half of this awesome twosome, and we can do it together. What's up, Charlene? What's up? It's Tuesday. Let's roll.
Yeah, it's too. I was like, what he saying? What he trying to say? Let him get it out.
I was like, tuta. Yeah,
Good
I'm on my
morning.
first cup of coffee, so I just made it,
Mm,
Keurig special, so it's just now,
see,
getting brewed up. So, but what's up with you? What's up with your weekend? What's going on?
what's happening? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I see Ray, was it Rozzy? I don't know. I'm gonna say Rozzy.
Raji.
Please jump on, say if I'm saying it right. Summer, and of course Christine, Enrique. Good
Yeah,
morning,
Enrique.
everybody. And those
Enrique,
who are
giving shots out to Enrique. That's the podcast I was on yesterday. You guys go check it out on Spotify, Apple, wherever your podcasts are. Also on the YouTube channel as well. Enrique, drop in there your showcase page and that as well. The leadership. Phenomenal conversation. Phenomenal brother. I saw him on the post. Tiffany Castano was like talking about, they said this guy is talking about vulnerability, and that just perked my ears up, like when the dogs hear stuff and you don't hear it. It perked my ears up, and I was like, well, who is this guy having a conversation about vulnerability and I'm not invited? And I tell you, kudos to him. He saw the message, shot it out to me, and we hopped on the podcast. Man, lovely. So I'm glad to see him in the house. Thanks for dropping by, Enrique.
Yes. And he is always with the show, so we always love it. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Enrique. And you said what? He's a top 50 podcaster?
Yeah, it's top 50. I know after I was on, we moving up. So they haven't took voting in yet. I ain't saying it was all on me, Enrique, because you moving up in the top 10 after that podcast yesterday. I've been sending it through. Had a couple of people on my network listen to it. They was like, man, that was awesome, man. How can I get on that guy's show? I want to tell y'all
Nice.
up front. I dropped in. It was just the grace of God because Enrique, he's already filled up for 2023. So this is to let you
Boom.
know he is not playing, right? His podcast and the leadership that they're doing is awesome. So we love it.
Love that. Love that. And speaking of the folks we love, yes, the family, the real Talk Live family, we love y'all. But let's
Love
also give shout outs to
it.
to
Shout out
our
to these
sponsors.
sponsors.
They have been our sponsors for the entire 2022, and we appreciate y'all. If you want to help sponsor this show, sponsor our movement, our journey, please hit us up. You can hit me up directly or Mr. Carl Shawn Watkins. I really direct y'all to Carl Shawn Watkins because he know all the sponsorship information. But yes,
Yes.
one of our amazing sponsors and our friends, Russ and Scott, they have their live business mastermind group. We're a part of it, and they have like a great camaraderie where we get to sit down and talk about what's going on in the field
Yes.
of live streaming. What can we do to improve it for ourselves, our businesses, our communities, build that support and accountability with each other. So that's a great spot. If that's something that you know you need, hit them up. Head on over to russhedge.com and sign up. Register today so you can be a part of something bigger tomorrow. And of course, Carl, let them know about our friend, Mr. Martin Pratt.
Yes, Mr. Martin Pratt. I'll tell you right now, go get the Black Toolbox. Go get it right now, theblacktoolbox.com. Martin Pratt, the author, great job. Just go check out any of his stuff on LinkedIn. He got the Black Daily News, he got the Black Financial, he got all of it. I've been watching him the past few weeks on his podcast. He got the Black LinkedIn News. He got
Yes.
all the information that you need. And if this book is not for you, gift it. We're in the holiday season, it's fastly approaching. Like I told you, it's only like about 10 or 11 Sundays till Christmas. So gift this book to somebody. It is an autographed copy that you'll get. And not only that, you'll get a consultation with him with this as well. So you definitely want to dive into that and share this experience with someone else who can use this Black Toolbox. Martin Parr.
Yes, yes, yes. And then let the folks know about your clarity session because we closing out the year
Yes,
strong.
we're closing out the year. I am propping up the calendar for 2023. I've got so many people booked into 2023 that said, Carl, I want to change the way that I do life and leadership in this upcoming year. So I got the clarity session. It is open. Go and check it out. That's why it is. It's on the other side of vulnerability. What is you are? You are. Everything you need is on the other side of vulnerability. Sign up for the clarity session. Let's walk through it. Let's walk through it. Let's walk through goals. Let's walk through implementation, a plan of action, and we're definitely going to unveil the finished journey. So go enjoy today. BeVulnerable.club. Sign up, click the free clarity session, and let's get it popping for 2023.
Here, here. And of course, to help you get your website and your marketing strategy together, hit me up at bklyncustomdesigns.com/strategy. That's brooklyncustomdesigns.com/strategy. Stop struggling with your website. Know how to use it properly because everybody is just jumping out trying to be online and trying to be available, but they're not visible. So stop wasting time and money and being frustrated with your website. Get the strategy down. I'm more than happy to help work you through that. So 2023 won't be a struggle. It's going to be a successful goal setting and accomplishment time for you. So that's what we're here for. We're here to help you level up. And speaking of leveling up, that's what our guest is here to help us all do because it's about destiny. Creating your own destiny. We doing a deeper dive because we had her on last time and folks were eating it up. Eating up all that info and all the gems she was just dropping on us. And it's not just about hearing what she's saying, it's about taking it to the next level, taking action on it. And then, of course, next year, learning how to collaborate properly. Folks tell you you should collaborate, they never show you how to collaborate. So, we're going to talk about a lot of that. What does creating your destiny look like? And that's where our special guest comes in on it today.
Yes.
Come on in, Miss Claudia.
Hey, good
Stop.
morning, everyone.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning, sunshine. And you see the sunshine all around. It ain't just the light, y'all. It's the sunshine. It's the aura, as they say. It's the aura.
That's what that is, the
Yeah,
aura.
the aura. That's what it is. It's gleaming, right? Everybody can't bring that. You know how some people just looking like, they just shining from too much makeup or they just shining from too much grease. You know us in the Midwest.
Oh,
Vaseline, put on your face so the wind
it's
won't
the
touch
ring
you.
light. It's the ring light.
Or the ring light. Yes, but she's bringing the aura. What's going on this morning, lady? What's been happening with you?
I am so happy to be here. You guys are awesome. And this has been such a wonderful honor to come back and do this
Yes.
again. You guys got me deep last time. I was practically crying on here. So I'm just happy to help everybody and bring my wisdom and my little wit and sass to the table.
I love what
Always
it said.
welcomed. Always.
Yes, always welcome. Charlene is the master of the part due, as I say so much. But the phenomenal piece of this is that there's so much light that you bring. For as long as I've been knowing you, I used to match you and Osama up. I was like, I did not know anyone on any platform that bought it like you two guys. And I was on a lot of platforms seeing a lot. And I was just like, who is these shining lights? So we had to have you on. And not only that, I am just so proud of the vulnerability steps that you've been making and the progress that you've been making as well with that, and just shining even more with that. It's amazing how we shine within ourselves. We're talking about creating your destiny, a deeper dive, because a lot of times we have the destiny set out and kind of like mapped out based upon career, based upon maybe family or those kind of things. But how many of us really deep dive into ourselves, and say, what truly is my destiny? Am I really doing my life's purpose? Am I really fulfilling the things that I enjoy and enjoy transforming in other people? And I think that you're doing that.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So before we dive again, let the folks who have not heard of you because they're doing LinkedIn wrong or they're barely there, that's okay. But introduce yourself to those who have not had the pleasure of knowing who is Claudia.
Well, first of all, like you said, I am the sun, right? I am a firecracker. I bring the energy to the table. I bring enthusiasm to everything. I get super excited about everything. It's just part of me, and I've embraced that. So bringing out your true self, right? I am a confidence coach, life purpose coach, and cognitive behavior coach, speaker, and writer. And my whole mission is to help people believe in themselves. We all go through these moments in our lives where we doubt ourselves. And for me to help you erase that doubt and bring your true self out and be proud of who you are, no matter what you've been through, no matter what mission.
Is that me? Am I blinking early?
No,
No, okay.
I think we had a little
Oh, we
slight
love it.
hiccup.
Come on,
Yeah,
LinkedIn. Come on, Restream.
It was
Don't
a
do that.
dramatic pause.
I
That's
know. It
right.
was like, but
Like,
I just wanted to jump in. So as we are closing out the year, folks are like, I have so much I had on my plate. There's so much I wanted to do. What can we start to do now as we want to start shaping our destiny? We're like, okay, you know what? Maybe 2022 was a wash, or maybe you didn't get as much accomplished as you would have liked. Now, how do we brush that off and really set ourselves up for 2023 and forward?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm with you on that. I'm a list person myself. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel clear. The first thing I would recommend is doing some reflection. Reflect on your year. Yes, there I'm sure have been some disappointments. I've had some of my own. I had some projects that didn't go as well as I thought that I worked very hard on, and that was very disappointing. But I didn't get lost in the disappointment. I used it to go, okay, something about this didn't work. I've built the foundation for it. Now I'm going to put it to the side until I can figure out exactly what I need to do with it. So starting there for the things that didn't work out, assess whether or not they're still aligned with you. You may have had this whole vision or this whole dream or whole plan of something that you thought was going to be the greatest thing ever, and you put it in there and it just kind of fell flat. And that's completely okay. Getting lost in that is what's going to set you back and keep you stuck. Use it as a tool to go, okay, where can I move on from this? Does it still fit with me? Is this still something I really feel passionate about? Because if it isn't, table it and move forward. Then give yourself some time to visualize, like to really think about your future and where you want it to be. Because we can have, do, or be anything we want. We can have anything we want. We can go anywhere we want. We can do anything we want. We can stand in our power anytime we choose to do it. But if you get stuck in the fact that you shoulda, coulda, woulda, you're going to still be in that spot. Table it, scratch it, let it go, and move forward. Find out where you want to go from here. There may have been some things that surprisingly came up this year that you were like, wow, that was really cool. Or I really liked doing that. Or I found a new thing that I'm really good at. Lean into that. That could be your new path. These little obstacles that come in our way that keep us from things are keeping us from things that weren't meant for us. So if we dive into the things that are, enjoy the pivot, enjoy the detour, and go, what can I learn from this? And then step into the future. Start making a list of things that you really enjoyed about your year and go, okay, these are the things I really liked. Is there a way I can expand on it or turn it into something? And start making ideas. Ideas are where reality starts to shape. You can actually bring all these dreams and your imagination flowing into reality if you allow yourself to do it. And by doing that, you're going to find something that you were totally passionate and meant for to do.
Yes, and I love that you said, there's just going to be times where something no longer aligns with you, or, maybe it just wasn't meant for you to do. But how do we also avoid those mishaps, turning those mishaps into, oh, God didn't want me to do it? No, maybe God told you you're not ready now. That doesn't mean you weren't supposed to do it. Or, some people always feel like, oh, I missed that time. I missed the moment. Just especially when, people want to get on social media or they want to do video, they feel like they missed that special entrance time. There's no real entry point of time. Just get in. So how do we not make a missed opportunity that turn into that, oh, I wasn't meant for it opportunity or type of a excuse?
It's all about divine timing, right? I can
Right.
completely relate to this on a regular basis. This has happened to me. And it used to be something that I would get lost in. Oh, I really missed out, or I should have been there, or man, that would have been great. And then you go in the rabbit hole of, okay, well, I guess I'm not supposed to do that and whatever. But a lot of times those things happen because, like you said, you weren't ready. If you were going to go into it, would you have been able to do it with your whole heart, with full knowledge, with full energy? No. And that's why almost every time something has canceled or been interrupted or stopped for me, it came at a time when I needed it to. And I didn't need that. Either I was going too hard and I had way too many things on my plate. And I'm like, why did I take this on? Because I am a recovering shiny object syndrome person. It's so easy for me to get involved in things. And then I get too much on my plate and I'm like, okay, I've done it again. What am I doing? And then someone cancels or they reschedule or something comes up and it's like, okay, well, that doesn't need to be done right now. And we're not going to do it. So, okay, let's move forward. And each time this wave of relief comes over me like, okay, that's so good because I really didn't have time for that right now anyway. And now I can really focus on the things that I do need to have time for. So I just think instead of getting lost in the, it wasn't meant for me, lean into the, it wasn't meant for me right now until I have time. And those things will come back around. They're going to show up. There was a person that I had connected with and it was going really well. We were having a great conversation and that person had to cancel because they had gotten sick. And I was kind of disappointed by it at the time. And I was like, you know what? I totally understand. No big deal. We'll circle back. Well, the circling back never really happened. And then time went on and I kind of forgot about it and then moved on into other things. Then all of a sudden, that person showed up again and was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I can't believe we didn't connect. And I thought we had this whole thing going. Can we get back on track? And you know what? In my experience, I wasn't ready for that person because they were kind of bigger than, what you would think. And I was just like, okay, I wasn't there yet. I didn't have my roster built. I wasn't ready to go. It would have been a great conversation and nice to connect, but I wasn't ready for what they had to offer. So by having that moment where they actually canceled on me, I built up momentum. I found new things to do, new projects to get in, new shows to be on, more visible for me. And that brought that back around. And now I came to the table confidently going, I'm ready for you because I know what I bring to the table. Where at the time I was just more, caught in all the stars of, wow, this person wants to talk to me and it's pretty exciting. And that's all I got lost in. I wasn't even knowing what I was bringing to the table at that point. So having that moment of pause gave me the chance to build where I needed to so I could be ready.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it takes me back to something I preached like about maybe a year or so. Delay is not denial. Because a lot of times we get caught in that because things aren't moving, and all of us are subject or subjected to that thinking, right? When we're putting things together and we have our mind set, or so we think, on achieving something, when the roadblocks come, oftentimes we quick to say, and we quick to, even though I don't know if it's a belief or not, but we're quick to move out the way and say, maybe, we look for an external to blame on, right? Maybe God ain't had that ready for me, or maybe I wasn't there. We never really think about the pause. I got into that so much, and I got so much out of the pandemic pause. I really did. It really transformed how I live and think, and not for the fact of the tragedies that happened. Yes, that was a part of it, but there was so much growth under those tragedies in my life because of the pandemic. And I say I got to give a lot of onus to that. Yes, it was painful. Believe me, I lost 13 family members from close on down the line. But it was also a time of growth where I came and I done and I conquered things I never would have thought I would have. So a lot of times that pause or that delay is not the denial, because like you were saying something very poignant. A lot of times we look at things as when they come upon us. And me and Charlene has had these conversations as well, how we see things, how we want things to be, how the road of what we envision comes to fruition in our mind. And we're not at places yet. And all of those places, when I look back on them, they were just in comparison to. And we have to be mindful of that. It's also because we look at things and we run across people and we say, oh, well, this is going to put me here. They're not the one to put you there. When we start realizing that at that place in time, it's not you. I've been telling people, I've been talking about vulnerability for 30 years. Now, if I would have stopped at this point in time where people are picking it up and saying it and talking about it, where would it be? So a lot of times we have to just be patient and let things unfold, because a lot of times we try to roll the tarp out, but sometimes it's just like nature and plants growing. You have to let them grow. You can't rush a plant. When you plant it, water it, you got to let it do its thing. And I think that's what we have to do a lot of times with the things that we're trying to be a part of, trying to create, trying to establish, and they'll come to fruition if it's for you. Oh, what's that? Mic drop? What?
That's gonna be my dog in the picture too. Sorry about that.
That was a dog drop. That was a dog drop. He heard that.
Yes,
Mic
that was
drop.
a dog drop.
Yeah, that was a dog
What?
drop. They heard it. They heard it. They heard it.
So
They heard it.
I would like to see, like, okay, so for you, when you're getting your clients all prepped and ready for the new year, what are two things that we can really do to start getting ourselves prepared so we can start creating our destiny? Because we've said a couple of things that, once alignment is there, when you're ready, but like, how can we now prepare ourselves to get ready so we can stay ready?
In order to have a plan, you actually need to start thinking about what you want and what you've done and how all of those things come together. Find, like you said, 2 to 3 things. Do not get overwhelmed in the whole, next year I'm going to do 8 million things at one time. You're not. That's not going to happen. You're not going to do that. Start with one and give yourself targets and check-ins and deadlines. Not deadlines as in it has to be completed by this date, but it needs to be started by this time. That's going to make a huge thing. Everyone gets caught up in the deadline of when it's supposed to be done. And anybody who's been in this business knows things don't always go on the timeline that you have in your head. And if you do that, you can set yourself up for more destruction and sorrow and disappointment in yourself if you're like, oh, I didn't make the deadline. And then it turns you into a whole tailspin. Give yourself a target. I call them check-in dates. I'm like, okay, by this time I'm going to start this project. And then in, 3 weeks, I'm going to check in and see where I'm at, because those are keeping you accountable. It's those little dates, not the big end date, that are actually going to help you get to the goal. If you see this huge goal and you have, okay, I'm going to get it done in 3 months, you got to break it down. So if you have a goal, let's say to build a website, and you don't have a person and you're doing it on your own, which Charlene is here for you, so I don't know why you would do that.
Okay, let them know, Claudia. Let them know.
Well, if you're going to have someone, you have to find someone. So that should be part 1. If you want to do the website, then you've got to find part 1 of finding a person to do it, scheduling time to look at these things, doing your research, figuring all these things out. Give yourself each week a small assignment, because life is going to happen around you, with or without you. Time is always going to be an issue, but you can't use the excuse of time if you give yourself small things to achieve. because those small steps lead to big steps. And when you look back 2 months later, you can see all that you've accomplished. If the end goal isn't there, that's okay, but you are at least on the track to get there. So giving yourself room is huge.
Right.
Because like I said, life's going to get in the way. Things are going to come up that you hadn't expected. And you don't want to derail yourself completely and say, oh no, this happened. And now I've completely, scratched the idea and now I've got to start over. And then you start getting into overwhelm and it becomes a whole thing. But by giving yourself those small little steps, you're going to achieve a lot more. You're not going to stress yourself out as much about it because you don't have this deadline on your shoulder going, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Because some things are meant to take a little more time. And, like Carl John said, patience is huge. And that's something I've really had to learn because I was never good at before. I'm always like, right now, let's go, move, 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 keep it going. When that happens, you miss out on so much that's going on around you. And yes, I love what I'm doing and I love my business and I love all the things I'm involved in, but I also have a life to live. And I need to participate in my own life. So scheduling time for those personal moments of self-care is also huge for you in the future. And if you complain this year that you didn't get to go where you wanted to go, you didn't get to see people you wanted to see, schedule it, make time. I block out time in my calendar for myself, not just for other people.
Yes, and
Y'all
ma'am.
hear that? Yeah, y'all hear that?
Yes, I block out my Mondays. I block out my Fridays. I try to stick to, and I did really well. I'm so proud of myself this year. I stuck to my guns on not doing work and being a slave to someone else's schedule on my weekends. That my
Good.
weekends were mine. Like if I wanted to do work, I would do it. If I didn't, I didn't. I went away, I slept, I played with my cat. That was my life.
Yes,
So I
yes.
appreciate my weekend this year. Yes.
That's
There's
huge.
that-
I'm with you. I have done so many things and I have my hands in so many pies, but I'm not going to come to the table as my best self if I'm tired, if I'm stressed out, if I feel like I'm missing my own, because all I'm doing is working. It's great. It enjoys parts of me that I didn't even know I had, but I also don't want to miss my life. I had so many years of my life where I was trapped in what I call my darkness phase. And when I was in there, I was missing out on everything because I didn't have the strength or the energy to do it. And when I came out of that, that was one promise I made to myself is I'm going to live. I am here to live. I'm going to experience all the things I want because I am important. I am living my life to fulfill my dreams, my goals, my relationships, not only with others, but with myself. And to be my best self, I need to take care of myself. So in my calendar, I block off days, hours, times when it's just me. And it's whatever I want to do with that day. Like you said, if I feel like I'm going to work a little bit, then I'll work a little bit. If I don't want to work a little bit, I want to go somewhere. If I want to lay on the couch all day, if I want to exercise all day, if I want to go shopping, whatever I want to do because it's my day. And it doesn't matter what anybody thinks or says. It is my time and I'm going to own it.
Yes.
All right, we
Yes.
want to thank y'all for coming to Claudia Wyatt's TED Talk. Thank you for coming to that.
It's
Yeah.
happening. That's on my list.
Yeah, it's you gotta speak those things into existence, right? Because if you don't say them, no one else will.
Yes.
When you guys are making the great points of taking that time out for yourself has been something that I think a lot of us have struggled with, especially if you're moving from corporate to now being your own boss, so to speak, in the entrepreneurial journey. It's very hard to not be calendar rigid, deadline focused, and it's actually a little more harder for you to back away now because everything is on you. So there's a training that must take place, and to do those trainings, you have to let the training work for you. And I like that. I've started that because I wasn't one. I felt kind of unfulfilled if I wasn't doing a lot of things. And I think our minds have played tricks on us with that as well. We're feeling like we're maybe not enough of less than because we're not into everything, or our hands are not into a lot of projects, or if we're not multitasking, which is two words put together. And I really wish I could find an individual that put those words together because you can't be multitasking it just doesn't work. Really, it doesn't. When you look down at what he really calling you to do, doing two or three things at a time, yeah, you could be somewhat efficient at it, but you're not you're not really tasking in it. Something is lacking in the essence of what you're doing. And when you figure that out, the me time had to come into play. I found myself going on trips this year, even though they were business related, some were church related, but I kind of set the phone down and I kind of didn't do so much checking in the LinkedIn messages or checking in the work messages or check. I kind of like do, and they had to wean. I had to wean myself to that because it's agitated sometimes. When you get there, you got a quiet moment. Check your phone, check your messages, check it. It's something that we've been subjected to for quite a while. But you saying it, schedule that. I've got into maybe scheduling sometime. I got a couple of days on my calendar now that are closed. It took me forever to actually take them off the calendar. But I took them off. And when you start thinking about all the things you do, right? I don't never brag about what I do, but I do a lot of things for one individual. And when you think about all of those things, I oftentimes wonder, where do I even find the time? Where do I even find it? Because when you actually physically look at what you're doing, who you're helping, who you're being a part of, where you're being, where you have to go, it's like it's only 24 hours in the day. How am I even getting that done? So therein lies to let you know that you need to rest in that. Claudia, going in on this deeper dive and creating this destiny. Now you got us the client, you got us where we going. You tell us some of the things we got to do. We got to take the small steps. I'm having problems with that. I'm just having problems with that. How do I not get so focused on I got a business to run beside my life to live? I got a life to live. Yes, I've finished corporate. I'm gonna put it in a real scenario. I'm done with corporate. Now I've started my business, and now it's just me. I don't have any other employees. I've got to do this, and I've got to push this in creating my destiny. Now I've decided that corporate's not for me no more. What are some of the things that you could give me starting out? Is just say I don't have to pull my hair out and say I can do this bit by bit.
We are all in this journey together, right? Like, even though you feel like you're out there on your own,
Yes.
there are millions of us that are doing the same thing. First and foremost, you need a support group. You need to find your group of people to lean on. You need to find people who are better at things than you in other things. I am not a tech person, not at all. Everyone knows this about me. The tech I do is turning it off and turning it back on. Do you think that I have tech people in my back pocket that I can call when I'm in trouble? Yes, I do. You need to find your help. You need to find people who actually will support you no matter what, that you can pick up the phone and go, I am drowning here. Please throw me a life preserver. And they're like, absolutely no problem. And not only is that professionally in the skills that you have, but that's personally as well, because you're going to need a network of people who you can say, I don't know if this is for me. I'm freaking out. Like if you're having a moment and you are reeling, you need to have somebody who's actually got your best interest at heart, that cares about you in your group of people. Having those people, because we're all going to have those moments. I don't care who you are, including me, where I'm like, what am I doing? This is not working out the way I thought it was going to work out. And I'm starting to freak out. I can pick up the phone, or I can shoot someone a text or an email and say, I'm in trouble. I don't know what to do. And I call it talking people off the ledge. I have a tendency to be this person for a lot of people because I can be very grounded when someone's giving me a problem, and I can say, okay, look, you are spinning out of control right now. You need to take a breath, pause. Let's go through it slowly and figure it out together. Right now, your mind is so in overwhelm. All you're doing is overthinking and you're self-sabotaging. So having those people in your group is going to make it huge for you. Research is another thing. Look at what people in your world are doing. I'm connected with a lot of other confidence coaches because we all have different ideas and different things. And we're not in competition with each other. We are a group of people who can learn from each other. So start learning. I also take a lot of classes and study a lot. I take a lot of courses, a lot of certifications, because I want to be better at things. And when I don't know how to do something, I want to learn how to do it. So having those kinds of tools in your pocket will serve you well going forward. There's going to be tons of things that you're not going to know. I also came from corporate spa world, and being in that world of wellness, yes, I could run that I've been in it 20 years with my eyes closed, with my hands tied behind my back, no problem. I don't even have to think about it. But being an entrepreneur in my own business, there was a lot of things that are different. There's a lot of things that I didn't know how to do. I'm not going to use that as an excuse or a blame of why I can't do something. I'm going to put the effort in myself to figure it out and learn how to do it. And if I'm not sure, I'm going to ask for help. And I know that's super hard for a lot of people. Yes, I was there too. I didn't know if I could count on other people to do what I would do. I'm just going to do it myself because I'll actually get it done when I want it done. But you're going to need other people. And you need to come to terms with that. Because if you keep trying to do it all alone, even though you are a solo entrepreneur, you still need help. So you got to learn how to ask for it.
Yes. And I would say also start fine-tuning how you ask for help. One, how you ask for help. And two, are you being honest about the type of help you need? Sometimes we're not honest to say, you know what, I need a lot of help. We just, I just need a little bit of help. And then by the time someone says yes and you reel them in, now it's a bigger project than they really expected to say yes to. So we got to be honest about what are we expecting from others. And then the people we're tapping into, you guys, you got to be honest with us. Is this something that you can put on your plate
They
right now?
do.
Because there's a lot of folks that say yes, and then they can't really help you, or they can't help you as you thought they would. So that honesty and that transparency of what type of help are you looking for and how much help are you expecting, all of that helps so much as well to get you to where you need. So if you're going to be in a resource to someone, or you want to ask resource of someone else, that transparency is going to be required for sure.
And that vulnerability, that you can't leave that out. Me. I'm over here on the ledge. Me. You can't leave that out as well, because Charlene hit it on the head, but you did as well, Claudia, when you're asking for that and you're looking out, because no man's an island, right? And we hear these things oftentimes, if not numerous or many, right? How many other times you want to say that you've heard them, but the reaction of it is, a lot of people do not indulge in them, and a lot of things can be the cause of that. We put our trust or what have you in certain people, and they just kind of blew it for everyone else, or we really think that we don't know maybe how to communicate how we want it done, with that, because a lot of people had that, and I know I had that issue. Really couldn't. I can tell you how I see it, but I couldn't necessarily communicate that to someone to share that vision with me. And these are things that you learn as you ask questions and then start finding out the correct questions to ask. Because a lot of times we don't ask the right questions. Because I know I did that, and I would say, exposed, because I told someone I need help with something, and I wasn't all the way in what I needed to help with. I went in around the barn a little bit, and they got on it, man. And they was like, they helped me, but they chewed me out about it, right? They was like, dude, why you just like say you needed this, here? Because you ain't never say nothing about that. And I didn't really have I didn't really have an answer or excuse. I was like, man, I ain't really want to pile it on you like that. He was like, well, you piled it more now because I didn't know. He said, if you'd have gave it to me, then I could have told you from the door, we can do this to this point, and then you got to get somebody else. But these are the kind of things that you really need to be truthful and honest in what they spoke about, and be vulnerable in. Yo, you don't look any worse. And I actually look worse dealing with that person when I didn't convey and say all that needed to be done. Now, you never know what that takes place as, and he's still a friend right now. But I won't ask him to do anything because of the embarrassment of that, right? And but there's things that he's able to do for me that I won't go back to, for the simple fact that I wasn't with him real then. Now that's not on him, that's on me, and I'll come around to that. But that's just how I feel about it. But you have to be honest about it. You have to be truthful about it, because you cannot get the help you need. And it's funny, right? We preach that to those who seek us out for services. We preach that to those who buy our products. Be honest with us. Tell us what you need so we can make our stuff better, so we can have better maybe services, or maybe we can implement things that benefit you, or we can have products that we can refine and sell to you. And when it's on the other foot, it's like taking your own medicine sometimes. It's very hard to do. And in building and creating your destiny, oftentimes we don't take our own medicine. That's why the destiny never really gets created.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yes. And I saw Carla said sometimes people don't even know what they need.
Oh, I
I'm
didn't,
gonna
Carla. That's why we like that, Carla. I would add,
but
hey,
hold on. I'm gonna say yes and no to a little bit
here
because
go New
I have
York.
to
Here
push
go New
back
York.
on that.
Here go
I have
New
to push
York.
I got to push back a little bit. And this is why I'm pushing back. When you know something's off, something's not right, what's the first thing that we would normally do if there's something going on in the house and you're like, something, I don't know. We look, we search, we try to figure it out.
Mhm.
But if you're not even trying to figure it out for yourself, and then you're just, oh, I need help, I need help, I need help, people are just going to look at you. And when they're looking at you and they're not responding, why are they doing that? Because you're not saying, what is it? Even if you go to the doctor and you're like, you know what? I just don't know what it is. Something's wrong. Something's off. What's the first thing most of them are going to say? Well, where do you feel
Where
it?
does it
What's
hurt?
going on? Where does it hurt? We need to narrow this down, right?
Mhm.
So even if you're like, oh, I need help, narrow it down. You need personal help. Is it mental? Is it you eating out? Is it you needing somebody to come to your house? Like, what could it possibly be? Right?
Wow.
That's why I have to push back a little bit.
That's a
Sometimes
good
we
push.
do
That's a good
know.
push. That's a good push,
Sometimes we
Carla.
do
That's a good
know,
push.
but the fear of saying what is it, I
Yeah.
think that too, it might be a little mixture of a fear of rejection, a fear of someone saying I can't help you, or I won't help you, or no, just straight out no, because the year of no has come and gone, and people are still there with it. So it's a little bit of that fear of they're gonna say no, or maybe they won't want to, but let that other person do that. That's why you also have folks who try to trick you into saying a yes. So they won't tell you everything. They'll just tell you, well, I need help with my emails. What do you need help with them for? Writing
You
them,
need help
sending
sending
them.
one?
Like, what do you need help with? So us asking questions, learning how to be better people at asking questions, asking the right questions, but also for us, if we need help, narrowing it down. Even if and this is for your personal life too. A lot of folks have been breaking up. They've been having a crappy home life because they cannot communicate. Your spouse may have been with you for 30 years, but they still cannot read your mind. You got to open your mouth. If you don't like their stock, because there's things that they're your spouse. They've been doing for 30 years. Now you
And
want
you
to
ain't
blow
said
up.
nothing about it.
This can't work. This will not end well. Like the bat in one of the Disney shows movies said, this would only end in tears. Right? Anastasia.
Yes,
Watch that
Anastasia.
movie. Because that bat told the truth.
Her and her movies, y'all.
This can only end in tears if you are not being truthful enough to sit yourself down, because maybe something does annoy you about your personal life, your business life, but what is it? Pin it down. Is it an emotional thing? Are they triggering you? Or is it that somebody just don't want to do anything? And it's too much on you. More is falling on you, personal and professional. But you have to narrow it down so when you approach people, you're not approaching in anger, you're not approaching out of frustration, but you can be clear-headed enough to say, no, let's take the emotions out of it, and let's just try to find a solution. And a lot of folks don't approach things with the objective to find solutions. It's the objective is, I want to point blame. I want to tell you you're doing wrong. You need to go fix yourself. Because I see it even in organizations where you're supposed to be there to help the people, but y'all are too busy infighting. And why are you infighting? Because you have
Yeah,
internal
understand.
issues that nobody wants to just spit it out. So and so did this to me Thursday. I want it to stop. We're
Can you
talking around
guys
in circles, right?
can you guys kind of feel that this
No,
is
no, I'm
going
just saying
somewhere?
because I've seen it so much. That's why I'm just
Yeah,
harping a
it's
lot
good though.
on communication. Communication is so, so important. If you see things are going left in text messages, emails, get off the written communication and pick up the
Call,
phone.
call. Absolutely,
Yes.
Pick up
absolutely.
You
the
cannot you
phone.
cannot use tone in a text message,
Not at
and you
all.
could misinterpret and think it's a totally wrong thing. If you feel like something is wrong, pick up the phone. Yes.
Speak, because I've
Sorry.
seen
Yeah.
people tell me, "Oh, I've felt something." No, 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 no.
How
Don't
you
tell me
feel it in the text?
you read two sentences and now you felt harm. I need you to put a pause on that and just pick up the phone and say, "Hey, did you mean to say that?" Because that would have squashed so much. Because by the
Because
time people really see each other face to face, even if
yeah.
it's on video, I really don't need to be in a room with you to see your face on video and have a communication with you. But
Mhm.
people are so like, I read this and I felt this way because something else could easily be going on in your
Mhm.
sphere and you're putting that on somebody else. And that's not
It's
fair to
easy
the
to
other
do.
person.
And a lot of
So
times
people encourage it.
we only communicate for the most part, and I can say with a high percentage of maybe about 85% of people that communicate, they either hold or they're at 100. So they're holding everything in and they're not really saying, like you're saying, and kudos to you talking about that because it's definitely necessary for the deeper dive, right? Can't go deeper without the communication piece of that. A lot of people have been conditioned to hold. So I'm taking everything you're talking about, I'm taking it on in, I'm taking it in. And then we flipped on the other side of the record, as they used to say. Then you have the 100. So after I've held everything, I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to blast you at 100 for something that happened last year, right?
Child.
Because the opportunity has arisen right now that we're not in a communicative state. We're not communicating. So therefore, I'm going to bring in what I had last year that I really should have told you at that point in time. And it's funny about that. Me and my wife had this conversation a few weeks ago. She's like, you always want to talk about stuff right then. I said, it's important to me too because I don't get emotional with talking and having conversations. When I get emotional, I start bringing it down. Just I am, and I'm sure you guys are at that level as well because you don't want to say anything that you're gonna regret, and you don't want to push out anything that's gonna hurt. Because once words come out, they're there. I don't care how many sorries you do, how many Hail Marys, bar mitzvahs, or whatever they call, how many you do that. Once it's been heard by the ear, it can't come back in. So I make sure that when I get to that pitch, then I just bring it back down. But I talk about it because in the essence of me going to sleep with that, there's an opportunity for fester. There's an opportunity for other things to come in and say, okay. Then you all the time wake up the next morning and you say, hey, good morning, and you're in a good mood, right? And the one that didn't talk about it last night, yeah, good morning. What's wrong? What's wrong? There ain't nothing wrong. No, something's wrong because my attitude and your attitude is not the same. So something's wrong. So don't give me nuts what's wrong. Don't give it to me like that, but tell me what's wrong. And this is what we don't communicate a lot of times in that. And that's just relationship wise, but that's also a business. And that's also, and 90% of the people that I get to help in corporations, 90%, and I love using percentage because they're really effective. 90% of the people that I help, when I get in and I hear everything, it's because the boss is not talking to the other boss. That's all. That's all. Their RIs is good. Their KPIs is good. Everybody is doing work. Processes on. They're hitting deadlines. This boss said something to this boss a long time ago, and they never sat in the conference room and hashed it out. Now you
Mm.
got to have an external person come in and ask you two questions. Well, what were you mad about? Well, see, John department didn't cover that payroll expense from that, and you needed me. All right, I'm gonna take the check. But this is what you do next time. Go tell John in the conference room, man, stop writing them checks. Stop writing that stuff, man, and let your department handle that and let my department handle this. And let's see how we can work together. It took 2 seconds. I wasn't even here a half hour. You know what I mean? But this is it. We don't communicate. Oh, y'all hit something right there, boy. I think we all can go on that.
Oh,
What you say about that, Claudia? What you say about that
I
communication?
mean, this is I've lived this in many aspects of my work. I work a lot with teams,
Yeah.
and I get people in my face every day that'll be like, "Well, this person and they did this," and I said, "Did you say something?" That's the first thing that comes out of my mouth. They're like,
Mhm.
"Well, no." I go, "But you told 25 other people what happened, but you didn't say something to the person who, offended you or hurt your feelings or whatever it
Mhm.
was that happened." I go, "Why not?" "Well, because they're not going to listen to me and it's going to be a whole thing." You don't know until you try. And if you're expecting a reaction that you want, you need to give the person the opportunity to step to the table and give it back to you. You can't do this whole spinning around peanut gallery stuff. That infuriates me. Let's bring people to the table and let's have a conversation. A conversation doesn't always mean an argument. Just
Thank
so you
you.
know, it's a conversation. It could turn into something because people are passionate, but they need to take that minute to collect themselves and move forward. And I've done a lot of mediation for people because I do always tend to see both sides and know what's going on there. I can see it before they do. Most of the time, it's something so small.
So small.
That person they didn't clean up after themselves and it's a whole thing. I go, well, first of all, they don't clean the same way that you clean. So you can't expect them to be you, because that's not going to happen. But maybe you could show them what you think it should be like and give them the opportunity to try it. It's not brain surgery, but it's like mind blowing to see the wheels turn and go, I've never really thought about that before, that this person is not me. You always say you don't expect people to be you, but you do expect them to be you.
You do.
They're not you. So that's not going to happen. But if you want them to do things a little bit more the way you do it, have you ever thought about maybe taking a minute and the time to show them? If you care that much about the problem, why are you not trying to be part of the solution? Because the blame game's not going to work. All that's going to do is turn it into a whole thing, and it ends up being a whole lot more about you than it ends up being about anybody else. But if you sit down to the table and say, I want to make this better, I want to make this right, let's clear the air, and both people come to the table, most of the time the air gets cleared. Usually if there's a major unresolved issue, it's something that's going on with that specific person internally from a long time ago this is acting out of, right? Like this has triggered something in them that goes, this is something that happened in my childhood. I've experienced this before with this kind of person. They're not going to listen. You are seeing the person who wronged you. You are not seeing the person in front of you. And that's a completely different thing.
I'm looking for mics. I'm like you, Sam. I'm looking for mics. I'm looking for mics to drop. I'm looking for mics to drop.
And so what are 2 or 3 things that folks can start doing today to not allow communication to derail their destiny that they're trying to create?
Be open to listening. That's going to be huge. You have to hear what other people are going to say in a conversation. Something that I just wrote about yesterday that I have not posted yet, was that your volume doesn't define your value. Because a lot of people think they have to be loud and yell and scream in order to be heard, and that is not true. And a lot of times you're more heard when you are clear. Your dictation is very clear. Your words are very clear, and your heart is on the table with your vulnerability without screaming at someone. And the other thing is you need to look into yourself. There's always something in a conversation, doesn't matter who it's with. It could be a conversation I'm having with you right now that could trigger something inside me that goes, whoa, I haven't thought about that in a long time, and takes you back into that moment. You need to look into that, because it may be something that's holding you back or stopping you from moving forward and to becoming the person you want to become. Some of this old stuff that we hold on to will derail us from our future if we can't, let it go. Resentment in your heart will stop you in your tracks. And I have been there. I was the queen of resentment for a very long time. I was like, well, I'm just going to hold that grudge forever. No, forgive, let it go, move on, do your part. You can't control what other people are doing, but you can control yourself, and you can choose to be better than that. If you do those things, you'll really see expansion in your own life.
She dropped a whole entire dictionary on y'all.
I was trying to type stuff, and my fingers just stopped. It was like listen. I tuned in myself to listen. Enrique said his volume is not necessary at times, but he said what I really like. I have spoken the loudest when silent.
Yeah.
And there's those points and places in there that is definitely, those things are needed in that, and you don't have to and conflict is really healthy, right? A lot of people won't admit that, but I admit that if we're having disagreements to some point in place, it's healthy. It's a drive that we're not on the same page, but you have ideas and I have ideas, which means that we're correlating mindsets and we're exercising the mind. So every time that someone disagrees with you or you disagree with someone, it's not a place to say, okay, let's pick the boxing gloves. Because you don't agree with what I'm talking about. I don't agree with what you're talking about. We're not going to all agree. And I don't want us all to, but there's some semblance to rules and regulations that we have that we must all abide to, right? And in communication, it should be those same things. I have to have the respect for your perspective. It's just how it works. I cannot overlook your perspective because I don't think it draws value to what we're talking about or what we're doing. The honesty of it is that there's something in what you're saying can do us good as well as what I'm saying. and let's try to put that together as a patch matter, right? As a sewing together as a pattern to see, okay, what can we do with both of what we're saying? And a lot of times I think we've kind of kicked that to the bucket. You know what I'm saying? You ain't saying what I'm saying, and you ain't saying nothing. Nah, that's so farther from the truth. You're not saying what I'm saying. You're saying a whole lot because you're saying what you're saying, and I have to value that. So that's a key thing. I'm loving it. Look, man, I dove deep. I'm still swimming. Still swimming. All these things, still swimming.
I love it.
Deeper dive. I'm still swimming. Claudia, tell everybody where they can come and work with you at. I'm not gonna say look you up because y'all done looked up already. I need, I need to tell them where they can work with you so we can get some of this in. So we can get some of this in for 2023 because we don't want to carry this foolishness, this tomfoolery, this nonsense, this behavior, all these patterns, all these kind of things. We don't want to carry them in 2023, right? We want to be new. We want to be fresh, or we at least want to begin the journey of that. Tell them how they can work with you so we can start that journey.
I would love to work with you. So please reach out. It'll be very, very exciting, I promise. You can go to my website, www.claudiawyatt.com, or email me at connect@claudiawyatt.com. I'm also on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. You can come and chat with me, DMs. I am here to help. So whatever I can do, let's have a great, great rest of this year and a wonderful, exciting bang into 2023.
Yeah, it's already here.
Yeah, yes. Remember, I told you 11 Sundays to Christmas. So check it out.
Thank you for that.
And yes, I have not gotten anything on the list yet. And I've had the Christmas list from certain people since June. But it's a holiday season. That's what it's about, right?
Lord. Well, speaking of holiday seasons, y'all can give yourself a gift and us as well by scanning that QR code and following the Real Talk Live LinkedIn page.
Love
Yes.
it.
Follow the page.
I
Follow the page.
slide
And
that in since we talking about Christmas gifts.
yeah, since you talking about gifts and get in and book. And book as well. Our booking is open. We have some spaces available if you want to try to squeeze in before the end of the year. Cause I'm telling you, we're on a push campaign for 2023, and we got a whole new scenario of things coming through. We gave you guys some great insight, some great valuable guests, but we about to crank it up a notch because it's time to go higher. We up leveling. You don't expect us to do the same thing from year to year, do you? Right? Hey, we was on
Yes,
TV. You be checking our ratings. So
we've already got started our list of experts that we have.
yes,
And we also talking about our panels again. So
yes.
yeah, we got some things coming your way.
We got some things coming up, so we want to make sure that you guys are part of them. So follow us so you know Real Talk Live Podcast. Scan the QR code. Go check out Claudia Wyatt at www. I love how she says that. www.claudiawyatt.com. I just love how she says that. So go and check that out. Go and check out Charlene. And if your site is struggling or if you're struggling and you're trying to put a site together, go check her out. If your site's struggling, click on her. If you're struggling, click on me so we can all work it out together, right? Make sure
Yes.
that you get it as well. Make sure you get your strategy down. She helps you with the strategy, and come get your session down so you can get some clarity. Because you don't want to go into 2023 like you done rode and ride and rode all through 2022. No, you ain't get your stuff together right. No, you did.
Struggle moments. But yes, we want to thank y'all again for coming through tonight.
Yes.
Today.
Oh, she thinks she on that other show. She's not.
Wow, the salt just came through the screen. Good Lord. Okay.
I'm not man. I have bedtime, so she can't do a night show with me. I go to bed early.
Mm.
Yeah, 6:00. I'm
Oh
like, I'm
wow.
still awake.
I'll go to bed that job about early.
It's like it's 6:00, my brother. Okay. Oh, okay. You do you, whatever you gotta do. But
Wow.
but thank y'all again, and make sure that you tune in because this Thursday it's gonna be me and Carl. We talking about cybersecurity and small businesses.
Yeah.
Because don't believe the hype. Small businesses need to be protected too. And this is
Yes.
the last week of Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Make sure that you connect with me. I will be setting out a new newsletter on LinkedIn that gives you some updates and some tips that things that I've done on the blog. So make sure that you check that out. But yeah, this is it's been a great month. This has been a kickoff, an amazing conversation to really
Nice.
get us started. Thank you so much, Claudia.
Thank you guys. I love you so
As
much.
always. And you know, at this point, you can come back whenever you're ready. So
Yeah, just hop in.
Thank
You
you.
know, you had those,
I will
you had
take
those
you up
guests.
on that. I
Yes,
love
you
this
know,
show
like,
because
yeah.
you guys really throw some great questions at me, and you know my mind works
Awesome.
like this.
That's to
Yes.
get you rolling. Let's get you rolling. Make sure you come on, drop in. You know, great shows always have that reoccurring guest. You know, you saw it on the Tonight Show, saw it with Jimmy Fallon. They always have that one person that comes back and they pop in all the time. So you're definitely that person because you always bring the energy, you always bring the joy, and we love having you on. And we love just asking you like 13 questions in one, and you just answer all of them. I love that. I just like.
You know I like to talk, so I just keep going.
Okay. Okay. And for those who like Carla, you need help with the
Carla
QR
says she need
code.
help with that scan code. We're gonna help you out, Carla.
Either through your phone, you can just point your phone to it
Put
and
it
it'll
up
pick
there.
it up,
Pick it up.
or you can get a QR code scanner app. And it will also scan. I found a really cute one because it will scan automatically and take you right over there. I was like, what? So I can share that too. But yes, that's how you can scan the code and it'll take you directly to the page. So you don't have to click on nothing. So yes.
Put that in the newsletter. I like it.
Okay. Yes, I will. Because I have to do my tools. I have some updates, some things that I need to share with y'all so y'all can use those. So yes. So I will
Yeah.
put that all together for y'all.
Put it
So thank y'all. What?
Put it together. Put.
Yes, sir.
We don't
Yes,
see
sir.
y'all.
So thank
Yolanda said
y'all.
the salt. Come there, Yolanda. Don't do me like that.
Because Yolanda know, everybody knows salt. You stay salty. Bye,
Preserving
y'all.
everything.
Bye,
Bye,
thank
y'all.
you.
See y'all Thursday.
Talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it.